need that signed, put it in the pile. And that one. All right, we have the approved claims from last week in the amount of $100,673.21.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded to pay the approved claims of $100,673.21. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judy? Wednesday at 10, work for you?
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I said Judy and then Frank Cheryl. I'm sorry. She's losing it.
Wednesday at 10?
If that works for you.
That's cool.
Next, we have just a revisit of the letter from Gary and Penny Matson from last week. We all were privy to a response from Doug, which I will read into the record. Gary and Penny Matson have a tax bill for land and a bill for a mobile. It gives the numbers. They put the mobile on the land in 2005. Since that time, they have been charged solid waste fees on both the mobile and the land. The solid waste fee should only have been on one or the other, not both. She's asking for a refund on the solid waste taxes they have paid for the past 9 years. I'm not sure why it went this long without being noticed, and the state usually goes back 1 year for refund, so it's up to the county to decide if we want to issue her the refund. So, question goes to the board. Do we want to follow the state lead, or do we want to do we want to cut it to the middle? We're doing 5 years for those subdivisions for the Supreme Court, or do we want to give a full refund? Any discussion on this subject?
Well, I think they deserve the full refund myself.
What would the amount be?
I don't know, but it's not a lot. It's, oh gosh, about 100 a year. So,
$128 times.
thank you. Have a calculator
$1,000
here.
probably.
128 times 9 would be 1152.
Is that a motion?
Which I'll put as a motion.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to refund the full amount for the overpayment of solid waste fees by the Mansons. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
I'm amazed it went on so long.
Yeah. The secondary question too is, where do you guys want to take the money from? Any thoughts? That's what it's for. Yeah. Do we have a,
Yeah, I guess so.
is that a motion in a second?
Yep.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to take the money, the 1152 from Pilt, or approximately 1152 from Pilt. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. And again, that's what we use Pilt for, is unforeseen expenses. Give those to you. And finally, we have inmate medical. This is our insurance program for the inmates that stay in the jail. Once they are under our supervision, they no longer have their own insurance if it's governmental Medicare. So we pay an insurance policy of 85 cents per day for Broadwater County inmates alone, for that coverage. Any inmates we have from DOC or from other counties are covered by their own counties, not Broadwater County. We are simply holding them. But this is for just Broadwater County people locked up. And it's a snapshot of a given day in the month, so it's not a total, it's just on one day, if there's 3, we're charged for 3. If the next day there's 12, we're still charged for 3 for the month. And vice versa also.
85 cents a day,
Mhm.
85 cents.
Yeah, so it'd be 85 cents
Yeah.
times the 3. It's a very, very reasonable program.
Yeah, you should probably get it for that.
Some counties have gotten hit big time, you know, with heart surgeries and things. And that insurance has really helped.
Yeah, we did here a few years ago, remember the marijuana bust at the airport that time, that pilot? He turned himself in down there in, wherever it was at. And so there, he got up here, he had his, well, it was through cancer treatment, a whole bunch of stuff, it was a long run out there. I don't know whatever, it's the kind of stuff where all, through some of the other state stuff, you know, that take care, I don't know. See, by then he was about 65, 70 years old. You pretty much turn yourself in because you knew with the medical that was coming up soon, so. You've been on
So-
the run all those years.
Would Social Security, Medicaid kick in on that then?
Well, that's what I say, something must have, I guess, but, I don't know.
Hmm.
I know there had been quite a bill.
Oh, you know it.
I spent many days transporting him into St. Pete's for tests, and they're all specialty tests, and dye, you know, that dye that goes through, all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
So did I miss a motion?
Yep, you did.
Okay, did I get the second? Is there a second? All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the inmate medical for fiscal year 15. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
It's reasonable, because I can't imagine a county not taking.
No kidding.
He was probably, remember that homicide case and that one gal, she had to have a gallbladder operation, all that? Now, did the county have to pay for that? They
That was just before, I served on the jury
On Duncan's trial?
On Duncan's
Oh,
trial.
okay.
And then I became clerk and recorder about a month later. So the county did get hit
For that whole operation then?
that was the most interesting case.
Yeah, it was.
You couldn't get me to stop at the rest area
Yeah.
after listening to those guys.
Yeah, that was one of the first incidents that I was on as a reserve, going through all that. In fact, I, with Rich, went down to Vegas and brought Duncan back from Vegas.
You know, he got killed or murdered, whatever you want to say, in the
No, he,
riot.
no, he died, but Mazurkovich got killed.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, no, one was named Milovich and one was Mazurkovich. And anyway, one of them killed the other one in that riot, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, just one more piece of information. We did hire and offer our DES position to Mike Conkey for unanimous consent of all board members. And he came in, it was my understanding, his last week, and signed the paperwork to be an official employee, so that is done.
Good.
Yeah,
Is he
Should be
on
nice.
now?
yes. So, any other questions on anything
I don't
today?
think so.
Okay, I think that's all the mail, just give you a quick double check. Oh, this is the DUI task force contract, and it looks like it actually was sent and signed for this year by Under Sheriff Lynn Newman. So I think that's a tremendous positive for the county.
MRDTF,
What's this?
MRDTF.
Oh, we need signature, it's just,
I don't think so,
okay, it's just,
just letting us know. I thought maybe they were gonna sign it then.
That had been the discussion, that was one of the grants that was dropped, yet the expenses stayed in the budget, so this will help to reimburse the county for some of those expenses. That's one of the reasons that budget is so out of whack, is the revenue was dropped, because a lot of it was grants, but yet the revenue, or the expenses, excuse me, stayed in the budget. So the expenses are still there, but not the means to pay for it. A number of our departments rely on grant funding, weed, public health, extension, a good number, victim witness. And if you don't have that grant funding, in order to fund those required services by law, local citizens would get to pitch in with more property taxes. So it's something that department heads need to be able to do, is find, write, pursue, and administer grants for their departments. Or they need to find some alternative to fund their departments, or it's up to them to go to the citizens and say, will you please fund me with more mills? That was done about 10 years ago by the weed coordinator, Pam Converse, and the citizens said, yes, we care enough about noxious weeds, we will fund an extra 5 mills. So, you know, it can be done if that's what a department head in the public wants to support. That department is also funded though by grants, which saves citizens money from their property taxes. So that's one of the things that we'll have to look at with law enforcement. There's a tremendous number of grants out there. Do they want to pursue that line of funding? Do they want to look for another source of funding, or do they want to go to the citizens and ask for a couple more mills? It'll be up to the sheriff, that's her purview. And she'll come to the commission and let us know what she wants to do and ask for our support or guidance, and that'll be our job at that point to support, not support, or guide in another direction. So this is a good thing. Doesn't cost the county anything to be part of the drug task force. It's the Missouri River Drug Task Force. There's 5 in the state, and that's headed under Gallatin County. As far as the budget goes, I think it's important that we, as the ones responsible for the budget, look at the overall county budget, because that's our job, and look at the most recent paperwork with the correct numbers, not try and exploit an error that was made early on in the process. Obstructing the budget process is harmful to our county, plain and simple. And as far as these comments that I never saw the budget, we never got the budget, I think not understanding the budget is different than not getting the budget. The information is given, there's a paper trail. So that's all I've got. Anything else from the board?
Yep, so.
Franklin? Okay, Tim first.
Madam Chair, Members Commission, just a quick question. Linda was in last week, I think it was, very concerned about her needs within that department of new hire and retaining some very valuable help here. I would like to maybe just ask for a summary of where we're at with that concern that was brought forward, if we have anything coming from the commission on that?
Yeah, she's gonna move forward with the process as it was set forth. She's not promoting any changes at this time. We did talk with Mako, Harold Blatty, Mike Saystad, and Michelle Quigley about options at this point. She's just gonna move forward with where she's at so that she can get somebody in there to take care of the WIC program, which is Wellness, Infants, and Children. So,
Women.
thank you, Women, Infants, and Children, it's a wellness program.
Yes, it is.
Trudy?
Trudy Southwick, on the weed department, is there any way, or is there a tracking or a report that shows progress on the weeds? Is there any way to know if what they're treating is working, or if they're continually to come back, or how is that monitored?
Extensively. Every single grant that the weed department has monitors exactly those things, because that's a requirement of grants. How are you doing? What's the progress? What are you seeing? As you know, even from your own garden, you pull one weed here and another one pops up here. It's not any different with noxious weeds. So you're never going to annihilate them and get rid of them. It's an ongoing problem. And that's also shown in the grant. So yeah, there's extensive monitoring, tracking, evaluating, and that's all public domain.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Anything else for the good of the order?
Madam, I do,
All
whoops,
right.
Go ahead.
have one thing. Julie from Rocky Mountain left me a message, and I had questioned, they're working with St. Peter's through Rocky to have people that, when they get out of the hospital, somebody comes and checks on them, makes sure they're taking their meds and things like that. And I said, I feel like the redheaded stepchild. Why is that not going on in Broadwater County when we're a part of Rocky? They would like to come and meet with us.
Excellent.
So they want a time next week,
All right. Let's just give them a time right now next week.
and I think Monday's holiday.
You guys want to meet on Tuesday?
Sure.
Okay. 10:30 works for us. Does it work for her?
I'm sure it will.
Okay. Probably half an hour?
I think so.
Okay. And that is for what again?
I'm trying to think of the right terminology. It's hospital to home program, I guess.
Hospital home. All right. I want to write it here since I don't have a pencil. Do you know how to spell her last name?
Julie?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I'll find it. Home program, 10:30. 30 minutes. All right. Program. Tim, did you have your hand up for a moment?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the commission, I would like to know where I would go to find out, or to get a detailed report on the revenue generated from the recycling in our solid waste department, and where that funding is, whether it goes back into a specific fund, or if it goes in where that money goes.
The department head would be Brian Hall. You can call him. And I think the focus shouldn't only be on the revenue, because I think it's been well established, it's not necessarily a revenue generator, but on the savings to the taxpayers. Every trip we don't have to make to to Helena with our garbage is wear and tear on the vehicle saved, gas saved,
Dumping.
dumping fees, huge, time for our employee spent in the truck rather than working in the county. So when you pursue that, I'd appreciate it if you look into both, because there's definitely two sides to that. There is a certain amount generated in revenue, but it is minuscule as compared to the huge savings to our citizens.
Yes, Madam Chair, we've talked extensively about the savings that we do make to the county by doing some of that, and I have never had the discussion or heard the discussion on how much is generated. For example, Bastille, and that's the other aspect of that department.
Brian has brought that to the commission multiple times,
Okay,
so
Thank
yeah,
you.
he has that for you. You can give him a call and request any information you want.
thanks.
Yep, you betcha. You can also go back in the commission minutes. Like I said, he brings that to us in his monthly meetings, and you could find those numbers too that way.
Thank you.
You betcha. Franklin, you got the booklets at Mako? Did you bring those for Elaine and I? The phone booklets? You signed for them at Mako. Karen showed me when I checked in.
I don't know.
We pay for those. They have it at the Mako conference. When
I'll
you
have to
checked
look
in
at
on
this.
Monday,
I'll have to
you
look
got
at
an envelope.
I'll have to look in the container that they give me then.
If you could bring those in to us, we need those
Those are-
badly.
Those are the ones we get every year.
Mhm.
Okay.
With every commissioner's email and phone number and Mako
Must
contacts.
be in there, then I didn't see them.
You signed for them.
Well, they
Karen
give
made
you
a
the
point to show
whole,
me.
the whole bag there at the time.
Right, so if you bring those in, this afternoon or tomorrow, that'd be great. And then I'll put them in our
See if I got 'em.
mailboxes. Okay, just make a note that we asked for those. Anything else, you guys?
I
Okay,
don't think so.
this meeting's adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming.
Is there claims there?
Yeah, she's just barely going through.
The DUI thing.